Hey guys, and welcome back to World War II Solitaire board game channel and my campaign to capture parts of Stalingrad at least. I'm not going to capture all of it, but hopefully 40 areas by the end of turn 9. We're currently in turn 4. This video is going to be turn 4, 5, and 6, and the last video is going to be turn 7, 8, and 9. I'm recording this in 4K, the highest quality that I think there is on YouTube. So if you're watching on your phone or your computer, hit settings and you can check the quality. And if you press advanced, you can manually choose the highest quality, which is 4K. So you should be able to see the details on the maps and the counters and so on. Okay, so it's the beginning of turn 4. We have reinforcements and a withdrawal, which is not going to happen right now. So we go to random event phase and we roll 3d6 and we roll a 7, which is going to be another logistical pause. So you can see it really pays off to spread out your units. So roll 1d6. Ooh, don't be a 6, it's a 5, that's a high number. So we need to put 5 units in spent, that's 3 and 4. What more units would we like to spend? I guess we'll spend these guys then. And that's 5 units, so we still have 5 units left, so it's not so bad. When that happens in the end and you roll high, then it's very bad. Then you are in a very bad situation. All right, let's move on. We are going to the supply phase, which is usually the good part of the game. Okay, we have 10, we have 12, and because of the awesome optional rule, we get to re-roll this 1. And it's a 5. So you see, now we got 4 extra points. Last turn we got 1 extra point, so we have totally gotten 5 more supply points than we were originally supposed to. That's going to be 17. That's a very high number. Let's go ahead and see what we want to do. It's currently at 15, so 17 is going to bring it up to 32. Oh, where did I have this? On 19, I assume, yeah. Okay, so 32 supply points. We get 1 free air support. We buy 7 artillery support markers. And we go from 32 to 25. And then we buy 1 air support, so we go from 25 to 22. And I pretty much think that's what we're going to do. I don't think we're going to buy anything else. The engineers are very expensive, so I don't think they're worth it yet. I think, I can do it without the engineers and just keep saving those points for later turns when I need to increase my morale. The logistical pause card is already on the table, and I'm going to let it stay there to remind me that I have played the event, so I haven't forgotten something. So we move on now to the combat phase. Let's see what I want to do, guys. I believe I want to engage this light urban terrain with these guys. So we go ahead and attack, and we flip, and it's a fanatic with a value of 9 and defense value 3, so it goes to 12. My value is 6. I have 3 supporting units, so it goes to 9. I have divisional integrity and high morale, so it goes to 11. Let's see. He has a 9, so I'm not going to try to conquer that. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to use 2 artillery support tokens, maybe even 3. So I go from 11 to 17, and that's where I'm going to leave it, and I'm guessing it's going to be a stalemate. So we go ahead and roll 4d6, and I roll a 4, so I go from 17, 1, 2, 3, 4 to 21. He rolls a 5, so he goes from 12 to 17. So we have a victory now, and normally we would push him out of the map and we would celebrate and be oh so happy. However, that doesn't happen when you're fighting a fanatic, because fanatic, if the combat result is a success, it is changed to a stalemate. If you have a stalemate, nothing happens beside your guys get spent, and then next turn I can take him out without having to worry about that defense strategy. So that's the end of that. And that's unfortunate because my plan was to move these guys up so I could take this one guy out and isolate these units, but I can't do that now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep fighting over here. Let's see here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I still need to engage over here so I can isolate these forces. So we flip this one, and it's a heroes with only a 4, and the heroes are occupying the bread factory, and that's a defense value of 3, so it goes to 7. My defense value is 6, or attack value. It goes up to 9 because of the 3 supporting units, and goes up to 11 because of divisional integrity and high morale. I am going to go ahead. Let's see, he has a 4, so I want to be quite, I don't know if I need to worry that much. So I have 4 up already, and I'm happy with that. I could roll right now because I'm so much stronger than him that I'm very likely to win. But if I want to get that overrun, I would put 2 more of these artillery support tokens. And actually I think I'm gonna do that because that's 2 points, 2 supply points, but 1 morale is 3 points. So I think that makes sense. So my value goes from 11, 1, 2, 3, 4 to 15. So 15, and we go ahead and roll. And I roll 8, so I go from 15 to 23. He rolls 7, so he goes from 7 to 15. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more than him. So it's definitely an overrun. This guy is done, and I don't have to worry about his defense strategy. That's perfect. So these go back to the used, and we put a spent, and then we put one of our German markers, and that means our control now increases to 20. So here we go, and I believe we were at 22 supplies, I hope. And let's see, did I forget something? No, because morale doesn't go down, because again I did an overrun, so that's perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and see the next place we want to attack. And it's going to be up here. I'm going to go to the Duma Comuni, and we have another fanatic with a defense value of 9 with the terrain, and my attack value is 5 plus 3 because of 3 supporting units, and then plus 2 because of divisional integrity and high morale. So we're now at 10. So I am going to spend 2 artillery support markers and 1 air support. So my attack value goes up to 14, and then we roll for the air support. And we roll a 3, that's not very good. He goes from 9 to 6. And then we go ahead and roll for combat. I roll pretty good. I roll 7, so I go from 14, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 21. And he goes from 6 to 9. So that's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 more than him. So the fanatic is dead because we did an overrun. So that's very nice. But again, I've used a little bit too much support, I feel, to be honest. Let's see where we at here. So we now have 21 captured areas, because I would like to attack with 1 more unit, but I feel like attacking with a weaker unit, it's not really worth it because I only have air support left, and I would like some artillery support. So perhaps I should have bought at least 1 of those engineer supports. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to move these units up over here. So that's 2 movement points because that's an area adjacent to a Soviet unit. They're adjacent over here, and then I'm going to go ahead and move them up 1 again. So now with the infantry division there, they have spent their movement points. The vehicles could move on if they wanted to, but they have to stop because they have to wait for the infantry catching up. And then we have this area, and again I just think that's probably a mistake to attack with them. Let's see, we might want to move them up, however. I feel like they're gonna need. Okay, well, we have 3 forces up here, so I think they're fine. And here we have 2, so he's gonna support down here to the south, and these guys are gonna keep pushing and then finally go up. So I'm gonna end there. So we go to the end phase, and we have the automatic victory check, which is not gonna happen, and flip all the units to their refreshed side or fresh side. Not a lot of artillery barrages in this game so far. And then we reduce the morale by 1, and we move the turn tracker. We're now in turn number 5. So we have reinforcement withdrawal, which is not going to happen, random event, and we roll 3d6 for that. And we roll 9, which is the commissaries again. Again, the commissaries, I think that's the most common one. It happens quite often. It's a little bit annoying, but I prefer it a lot to artillery shell shortages and so on. And that's it. Then we have our supply phase, and we're still at 22 supply points. Ooh. And that's what happens sometimes. You roll really badly, and that's when you're happy because you have this optional rule. You re-roll the 1s, and you get a 6 and a 3 instead. So our supply for this turn is going to be 12, 15. So we go from 22 to 37. All right, let's see. We get 1 free air support. We buy 7 of these, so we go from 37 to 30. And then I am actually going to go ahead, because I have so much points now, I am going to go ahead and buy 2 engineer supports, and that costs 4 points, so we go from 30 to 26, because they cost 2 each, so that's a total of 4. Not a lot of money spent on out of action though. I have been doing pretty good there, but I have been spending a lot of support. So we're going to end there, and again now we still have 26 points of supplies. Very nice. And we're going to go ahead and do our bloody streets now for the very first time, and that is going to be, let's see, I think I only have 1 area of bloody streets, and that's over here. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let's see here, these guys should be in here. There's no other fanatic. Yeah, I did eliminate that fanatic in Duma Kommuni, so I only have 1 area. So we look at the bloody streets chart, and we can see that we want to roll a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4. And we're also happy that we're not fighting a guards unit in a 4 defense area. So a 6 would be really disastrous, a 5 would be okay. We rolled a 2, so that's perfect. There is no effect to the bloody streets. So we're actually going to start with this unit. So the Soviets have a 10. I have a 6, which turns into a 9 because of the 3 supporting units, and the 9 turns into 11 because of high morale and divisional integrity. I am going to go ahead and use 2 artillery supports, so I go from 11 to 15. And then we battle. And I roll 4, he rolls 3, so I win. The fanatic is out of the game. Cost me 2 artillery supports, but I actually didn't have to use them in the end. But I'm usually not this lucky actually with the rolls. These guys are spent. We put a German control marker, and we increase now the control to 22 areas. We have 18 areas left to take, but we only have 4.5 turns left, so let's see what we want to do here. I could potentially attack with this one, but next turn he's going to be isolated, so I think I want to wait for him to get isolated. We are going to go ahead and battle down here. So I'm going into this area, the Traktorstia Workers Settlement, which is a barrage. So I could choose now to retreat. And this is a tough one because I think I'm going to go ahead and retreat. Otherwise, I'm going to lose that infantry. He's going to start over here. It's just going to be a mess. But I really wanted to capture that area because that will let me isolate these units for the next turn if I also capture this area. However, I just don't think it's worth it because they're gonna lose one battle point. I'm gonna lose one supply point for bringing him back. It's a tough one, but at the same time, I am kind of running out of time. I think I'm pretty much going to have to actually do it. So for this turn, I'm actually going to do it. So with the barrage, we have the option of either place one of the attacking units in out of action box prior to combat or flip all attacking units spent and retreat. I'm going to have to retreat. So I put this guy in the out of action box and then I attack and they are going to pay for this. Mark my words. So their defense value is 8 plus 3. Which is 12. And by the way, the fanatic here should have had a +1 because of the commissars, but I can remember that I rolled so much higher than him that I would still have won. And remember that the fanatic thing is not active when he's revealed. It's only the very first time you fight him. So the commissars +1 that I missed it didn't change anything. It didn't change anything at all. So we have an 8 plus 3 plus 1, that is 12. And we have a 6 plus 2, so it goes on 8. And we still have divisional integrity, so it goes up to 10 with our high morale, which is here. I am going to go ahead and use 2 artillery support markers and 1 air support. My artillery puts me at 14. And let's see what the Stukas are up to today. 2. It's not perfect, but it's okay. So we decrease his value to 10. Let's battle. Okay, he rolls a 9, so he goes from 10 to 19, but I roll a 9 as well, so I go from 14 to 23. So I have still won, although at a little bit high of a cost. Again, I tend to use a little bit too much support, I think, but you know. So this guy is out of the game. We have captured the area, and we increase to 23 controlled areas, and we put one of our units to his spent side. That's it. We move on to the next area. Flip it, and they are heroes with a defense value of 7. 3 for the area, so that's 10. Plus 1 because of these commissars. I have an attack value of 5. Plus 3 because of 3 supporting units. And plus 2 because of high morale and divisional integrity. And let me just check that I actually have that. Yes, I do have divisional integrity. So let's see. We're going to do with 2 artillery supports again, and again 1 air support. So my artillery puts me at 14. So I'm 3 more than him. And let's see what our air support does this time. 4, that's pretty good. He goes from an 11 to 7. And then we fight, and I roll a 4, so I go from 14 to 18, and he rolls a 7, so he goes from 17 to 14. So I have won, however, it's not an overrun, because I only rolled 4 more than him. I needed to roll 8 more than him if it was going to be an overrun, since his defense value is 7. So the heroes unit will sap my morale and bring my morale down by 1 point. However, we have managed to capture the area, which is very good, because that means next turn all of these guys are going to be isolated and might become weaker. We put this guy to his spent side, and we put a German control marker in the area, and we now control 24 areas. We have 16 more areas to go. And let's see, I should push with 1 more unit. And what I'm gonna do here is I am going to, let's see, this one should perhaps stay where he is so he can attack north. I want to open up area 31 and 32 because that's a place where I can put my turn 7 reinforcements. However, that's pretty far away, so I don't think that's going to happen in just the next turn because I also need to move out of the area for them to be able to go there. So they're going to start in 1, that's perfectly fine. So I think I'm going to go ahead and move them 1 to the right. Or maybe I should just leave them where they are. I'll move them 1 to the right, and they're spent. And then I have this unit, which I'm going to chill with because he's going to attack next turn when they are isolated. And then I have this unit, and that's the one that's going to attack, and it's going to attack the... See here, they're quite high defense values, all of them, but Krutoy Gulli is the least one, I think. So I'm going to go with that one. So we reveal the Soviet. It's a heroes unit with a 5 and 3 for the areas. It goes up to 8. My attack value is only a 4 because this is the one I use as the lead element. I stopped saying it, but you understand the one at the top is going to be the lead element. 4, he has 3 supporting units, so he goes to 7, and he has high morale and divisional integrity because of the 389. He goes up to 9. I'm using the artillery support, so I go up to 11. And then I'm going to go ahead and use their support. Because, you know, sometimes it's just a 1 or a 2. It's a 4 this time, so he goes from 8 to 4. And then we go ahead and battle. Did I calculate the commissars this time? Let's see, 5 and 8, so he should be at 9. And then minus 4, so he should be at 5. Yeah, sorry that I forgot that. I hope I remembered it in this area, but it wouldn't have mattered in this area either, because it was still so far away from it. But now we remember it. Apologies if I forgot it. I think it's... that is why it's so good to have the card, because you see the card and you remind yourself, oh, let's not forget about the commissars. Let's go ahead and roll. If I did forget it, oh crap, that's a bad roll. If I did forget it, I'm gonna note it when I'm editing it. So we go from 11 to 15, but they go from 5 to 14. Wow, okay, it's really good that we used all of the support available. The heroes unit is dead, but we lose 1 morale point. Ah, that sucks. Artillery support and air support goes back. My guys are spent. We now control the area. We now control a total of 25 areas. That's 15 to go. And that's it. That's the end of the battle and the end of this battle combat phase. So we go to the end phase. And there's no automatic victory, but we have to refresh our troops. There we go. And then we have to reduce morale by 1, so we're now down to 12. Remember, you don't want to go to 9, because that's going to give you 2 less points, basically, because you lose the +1 for the one for the high morale, and you get a minus 1 because of the, or a +1 basically to the defenders, defensive value +1. So you lose 2 points of combat value. And we move the turn tracker, and we now go to turn 7, which is going to be the last turn of this video. We start with the dawn phase, and at the start of the dawn phase, at the very start, that's when you put out your isolated markers on every Soviet position that is not directly or you know, in contact with the Volga River through Soviet territories. So all of these areas are now isolated. And basically, you know, they have to be adjacent to adjacent, that you can track a line of Soviet areas all the way down. Let's see, this area is isolated, right? Yes, it is. It's isolated. So my plan now, I have 25 areas. I have 26 areas. I need to take 14 more areas. So my plan is basically to just take these up. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 areas. Oh, I was actually planning to save these, but I went in there. So I'm going to take those 9, and then I'm going to be up to 25, and then 5 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 basically. Remember that you're going to lose these guys on turn 9, and you could also lose them from a random event. So these guys need to get moving. Withdrawal is not going to happen, no reinforcements either. That's next turn the reinforcements come. So we go to random event phase, and we hope for something not too bad. We roll 10, which is going to be commissars. I tell you, that's the thing that happens most of the times. And then we roll for all supplies. And yeah, it's not the worst roll in the world, I guess. 11, and then we re-roll this sucker, and it's a 1. So I'm going to re-roll it again, and it's a 2. So that's, let's see here, 11, that's a 12. It's a 12 or a 6. 11, no, it's a 13. It's a 13. Okay, so we go from 26 to 39. 39. Okay, so we get 1 free air support. We buy artillery support for 7 and both of their supports, so that's 13 points. So we go from 39 to 26. So I have a ridiculous amount of supply points, but I want to point out that in all of this gameplay, I have only gotten, I think, I've only gotten a total of 6 more supplies from using that optional rules. So I'm now at 26, so I would still have been at 20 if I didn't use that optional rule. So I think I'm just lucky with the supplies this game, because again, I've only gotten 6 more. This time I only got 1 more. The one that I re-rolled became a 2, so that's 1 more. So, you know. Anyway, we use 1 supply to put this guy back. And remember, the guys up here, they have to go to the starting area. So we go from 26 to 25. And I want to increase my morale by 1. So I go from 25 to 22. And that's where I'm going to stop spending points. We're going to go to combat, and we have no contested areas, so that's great. I am going to, let's see here, where I want to attack. I need to start cleaning up these areas. And the reinforcements is going to start here. So I'm going to head up north with him. So I have him, I have those, and I have two guys here. So I think these guys are going to start cleaning up south next to the river. So let's start with, this guy is always fun because he has a high attack value. So we have an isolated unit here. So we're going to go ahead and start by first revealing him, and he's a heroes with a 5 in defense value, plus 2 because of his area. And then we have the isolation, so we have to roll for that, and hopefully we roll high. We don't want to roll low because it could even increase. So we look at the table of the optional rule. We don't want to roll a 1 or a 2 or a 3. And we roll a 5, that's perfect. That is Soviet defense factor decreased by 1. So his defense factor is now 6. And one thing to note here, I'm going to put a die with a 1 on him, because one thing to note here is that the isolation is the only thing that's going to lower his value, his printed value. So you know I told you that I need to do an overrun to not have that -1 morale from his defense strategy. But so I need to roll higher than his value. But his value is now 4 instead of 5, so I only need to roll 5 higher than him. And that's because the isolation doesn't lower his defense value, or it does, but the primarily thing it lowers is his defense factor. And because his defense factor is lowered, the defense value is also lowered. So that's 2 different terms that you need to keep track of. One is defense factor, that's the printed value, and one is defense value, that's the value that increases with the terrain and the die rolls and the commissars and so on. Okay, so 5, 7, minus 1 because of that, and then plus 1 because of these naughty guys. So he's back up to 7, but his defense factor is still only a 4. My attack value is 7, plus 3 because of 3 supporting units, plus 2 because of high morale and divisional integrity of the 24th division. Let's see, that's 5 more. I am going to commit 2 artillery supports just because I want to overrun him to avoid getting that hit to morale. So my value goes from 12 to 16. Let's battle. And we roll pretty good. I roll a 7, so I go from 16 to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 23. He rolls a 9. And so he goes from 7 to 16. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more than him. And I only needed to have 5 more than him since his defense factor is now 4. So I have done an overrun. I don't need to take a hit to morale. So let's remove the isolation marker. Let's remove the artillery support. And we flip our guys to the spent side. And we put a German control marker on the map and increase our area control to 26. So these 2 areas are very lucrative to capture because they don't have one of those dangerous heavy urban Soviet defenders, but they have a defense value of 4. And then you think, oh, a defense value of 4, that's not good, that's dangerous. Well, it's kind of good because if you capture an area with a defense value of 4, you gain 1 morale. And you definitely want to gain 1 morale. So we're going to hit that area. I'm going to go right here to the central rail station. And it's an ambush with an attack value of 8. And defense value of 4, so that's a 12, and then plus 1 because of those damn commissars. My attack value is 6, turns into a 9 with the 3 supporting units, turns into an 11 because of divisional integrity and high morale. I am going to blast this guy because he is an ambusher, so I need to basically roll 9 higher than him. I don't think that's even going to be possible. I might want to look at different options for that lead element. So I'm actually going to use the infantry division instead as the lead element. That gives me a 3, plus 3 because of the 3 supporting units, and plus 2 because of those high morale and divisional integrity. So I would like to get quite a lot more to my firepower. I'm going to use artillery support, 3 of them, and 1 air support. So with artillery support, I go up to from 8 to 14, I believe, 10, 12, 14, yeah. And then we roll for the air support. Please, this needs to be good. 6, thank you. His defense values goes from 13 to 7. And now we have combat. And I roll 4, he rolls 3. So I go to 18. He goes to 10. So I rolled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 higher than him. I needed to roll 9 higher than him to avoid the ambush. So the ambush does take out my lead element. The infantry division goes to the out of action box. And remember, this is the guy that's in the 29th. That's really bad to have in the out of action box because you're going to have to pay 1 morale if there's a withdraw from the table if you roll a 3. That's not very likely to happen, but it could happen. And you definitely have to take them back before. You don't want it to happen in turn 8 because then it's going to be real troublesome. Let's put these divisional supports back to where they belong. And the ambush is defeated. I've captured the area and now I have 27 areas. And my top unit is turned to his spent side, but of course all of the units are spent. Let's see here. I still have a lot of stuff to use, so I should keep pushing. I'm gonna save this 4 area for the next turn because you just need so much stuff for that. Increase morale by 1, I almost forgot. And we're gonna go ahead and use the strong unit here. But I don't have any infantry, that sucks. Okay, so let's start by linking them up. This guy moves over here. And actually, no, he stays because his area, his movement value is 4. So let's attack first. And it's a fanatic with a value of 5. And 6 with the defense and 7 with the commissars. And then we roll for on the isolation table. We roll a 1, and that makes them stronger. I guess they're fighting like corner dogs or something, so it goes up to 8. So I'm just going to leave that there to remember. And that is very bad since he's a fanatic. That also means that overrunning him is going to be more difficult because now his printed defense factor turns into a 6. So that's very bad. Let's see, my attack value is 6 plus 2 because of 2 units supporting him, and then plus 2 because of high morale and integrity. That's gonna be interesting. What do I want to do? That's the question. Okay, I'm gonna just put 1 artillery support in there. So I go to 12, and then I'm just gonna battle and hope for the best to happen. That's pretty good. He rolls a 3, so he goes from 8 to 11, and I go from 12 to 19 because I rolled 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I roll 8 more than him, so I do overrun. So even with the help from the isolation, his fanatic ability is cancelled. That's fantastic. Very lucky. They're spent. The artillery support is left here. And let's see what we want to do. I'm going to move these guys with a movement value of 4. And that's cost me 2 points to enter a vacant area adjacent to any Soviet units. And then I enter this area, which is also vacant with no Soviet units. And it's spent. And we should put a control marker there. We have now 28 areas. I only need to capture 12 more. I think maybe I can do it. I only have 3 more turns, but I can still do more attacks in this turn, and I think I'm gonna do that. This one should be isolated as well. I don't know why it's not. And I am going to attack. And I'm actually going to go ahead and attack, I think, maybe the clear, because that's rather easy. I don't have too much support. There's 4 of these. They're decent attack value, and they're isolated. They could potentially become weaker. But if I move him in, he's going to block these guys from keeping the attack up together with this guy, because this guy is going to go here, he's going to go here, but if I have him over here, he's kind of going to block me, so maybe I should instead attack with them. Let's see here, we have the 29th down here, and they are going to go away, so maybe he should go and support down here instead. I think that's smarter, but I'm still going to attack up here, so he's going up. We reveal the Soviet unit. It's a fanatic with a 5, so it turns into an 8 with the defense value 3 of the area. Turns into a 9 because of that commissar. We roll for the isolation, and we roll a 4. That's good, because that means he has 1 less in his defense factor, and therefore he also has 1 less in his defense value. We are going to go ahead and use some stuff, but first of all, our attack value is 5 plus 3 because of 3 supporting units, and we have divisional integrity and high morale, so it goes up to 10. We use artillery support 1, goes up to 12, and then we use air support, and it's really important that we get a high roll now, to be honest, because I can't. Okay, I am actually going to go ahead and use engineer support, and we have 14 just because I really need to overrun him. I don't want to have a bloody streets thing going on and delay the advance, because we still need to capture quite a lot of areas. We still need to capture 12 areas actually, and we only have 3 more turns, so it's not going to be easy. Let's go ahead and roll for the air support, and we roll a 3, so he goes from 8 to 5. Not too good, but not too bad either. Let's go ahead and battle. Ooh, I roll good, they roll good. I roll a 10, so I go from 14 to 24. They roll 9, so they go from 5 to 14, I believe. My math skills at this hour is not very good. Okay, so he goes to 14, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, more than him. So his fanatic ability is indeed cancelled. And we'll remove him and the isolation marker. And we remove our support. Whoops. And yeah, that's one of the good things, as you can see, with engineers. They can help you out, although it's expensive. We put these guys to their spent side and we capture another area. So we now have 29 areas. We still need to capture 11. I could potentially do one more attack, but I feel like that's maybe a mistake. That could become very expensive to do. However, I am going to move them over here so they have 2 areas to choose from depending on the developing situation, because I need to basically take out this and this and this and this and all of those guys. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think perhaps, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I need to capture 11 more areas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's correct. So yeah, I now have a very clear goal. These 4 guys, or divisions, whatever, groups, and then these 7. So a very clear track. I have 3 more turns, so these guys take out these 2 in the next turn. And then I have support coming here and they will take out this guy. And then moving on, this guy goes here and these 2 guys goes over here, and this guy might be able to go over here. It's gonna be dicey, and these 29th, they go away, so I'm gonna have to get these guys to the front, definitely, probably in this area. Oh yeah, you have to think ahead, because otherwise, then I have these guys down here. They could perhaps regroup with that guy and make some kind of last minute attack. Oof, it's getting dicey, guys, it's getting dicey. Okay, let's end this. It's the end phase, automatic victory check. No, we don't have 50 areas. Flip all the units to their fresh sides. Guys, this is gonna be the end of the video. Let me know in the comment sections, please. How do you think I'm doing? Do you think I'm playing too cautiously or recklessly? Or what do you think about this whole thing? Did I do many errors? I know I missed the commissars at least 1 point or 2, but I think I also mentioned that it didn't do any difference. And when I edit if I see me doing some error, I note it so that you can see that, okay, I did this wrong, this incorrectly. We decreased morale by 1. And that is it for this turn, and that is it for this video. We go now to turn number 7 out of 9. So we have 3 more turns, 11 more areas to capture. So I need basically to capture like at least 4 areas every turn. 3 and 4 and 4 at least. So it's going to be a challenge, but maybe, guys, maybe. Guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. You can find a link in the description where you can buy this game. Don't forget to comment, let me know that you're watching so that I keep doing this, because sometimes I do my campaigns, I don't get a lot of comments and I don't feel like, oh, are they even watching this? might have 100 views but 0 comments. So please do comment. Like the video also helps me, share the video helps me, and of course subscribe. That's, so you don't miss out on the next video or the other videos I got on my channel. Again, guys, thank you for watching. See you next time for episode 3. Bye.